السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته شباب. مرحبا بكم في تيستينج 4 لاب الكترونكس لاب. اليوم إن شاء الله حنبدأ في التجربة الأولى the first experiment in electronics part of testing 4. This experiment is about the amplifying circuits. تجربة عن دوائر التكبير باستخدام الأوب أمب. This is the op amp with the number 741. Okay, here we have the components according to the list in the manual book. We have 10 kilo ohm rheostat variable resistor. We have 1 kilo ohm to 10 kilo ohm, two resistors, 33 kilo ohm and 100 kilo ohm, two resistors also. Okay, then we have two ammeters to take the reading of the input voltage and then the output voltage, and here we have the power supply. Okay, we will start the experiment. Hope that you are following me with your lab manual. So we will start connecting the circuit. Okay شباب, let us start connecting the circuit according to figure 3. So we have to put 10 kilo ohm variable resistor and then 10 kilo ohm resistor like this. Okay, and then we have R1 and R2 from the table, R1 and R2. So R1 is 1 kilo ohm, 1 kilo ohm, or R2 1 kilo ohm for the first column. So R1 here is the input resistor and R2 is the feedback resistor. Okay, then let us connect. We'll start connecting the power supply. Here we have plus 15, so it will go here. Okay, and then minus 15 will go here, and in between we'll connect between the two resistors like this and here. Okay, now from this branch we have plus minus 15 and we have a variable resistor here. Why? To get an input and adjusted voltage. So this will be the input voltage. So this will be the input voltage. Okay, now we got the input voltage. Now Rn will be connected to inverting input of the op amp. Okay, so and then the feedback resistor will be connected to inverting input and also to output. Since it is the feedback resistor. Now we need to apply plus 15 to op amp and minus 15 to op amp. So the nearest plus 15 we have it here. So plus 15 to here. Okay, and then minus 15 from here. This is minus 15. Yeah, so here is minus 15. Only remaining now that the non-inverting is to be connected to ground, to 0 volt. So this is the ground. Now will be connected to here. So and then we got what is the circuit? It is inverting amplifier circuit. We have the input Ri, Rf. Okay, input to inverting, non-inverting to ground. Okay, now we need to take the readings through the voltmeters. So we will connect an input voltmeter to read the input voltage that will be to Ri and then taking the output from the op amp. Okay, so we need to make sure about the voltmeters. So here, make sure it's DC. If it is pushed, then it is AC. But if it is not pushed, then it is DC. Now the volt bottom is pushed down, and then the scale is 20. The same here, volt and 20. Okay, so both of them are connected. Then from here we will give to the 0 point. Okay, now the circuit is completed. How you could follow me? Now we are going to follow the procedures to get the output readings. So according to table, we have applied R1 1 kilo ohm and R2 1 kilo ohm. So in the second procedure, it is to adjust the input voltage to 1 volt. So first of all, let us operate the circuit here and adjust the input to 1 volt. Let us adjust the ammeter first. Here, voltmeter, and here it is DC first, then voltmeter. Then we will take range. I think 20 is enough. Okay. So now, how we can get 1 volt here in the input? 1 volt from the variable resistor or rheostat. From here we can adjust the value of 1 volt. From here we can start from 0, then apply here. Okay, apply here until we get 1 volt. 1 volt here. Almost 1 volt. To get more accurate reading, we will take smaller scale. So it is 1 exactly. I'm trying to make it exactly 1 volt. Almost. Okay, 1 volt. 1 volt. Okay. So now we need to take the reading to fill the table. Here we will adjust again. We should make sure it is DC. Like this, it is AC, but now it is DC. Volt. We need to get the volt, and let us put it on 20 scale. Okay, 20 scale. Now we are getting the output. 1 minus 1 volt should be exactly -1, but because of we have error in the reading. Okay, let us just wait, and maybe we need to replace the ammeter itself just for a minute.
It's okay.
It's not stable. It's not stable. Yeah, it's not stable. I'm replacing the ammeter. There is a problem with the ammeter. It's not giving an stable reading.
Voltmeter.
Yeah. So DC, volt. Okay. Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, now we are getting -1. Why it's -1? You have to apply the formula of the inverting amplifier, then you will get -1 volt. Okay? Now let us go to the table 1 and see the values of R1 and R2. R1 is still 1 kilo ohm, and R2 is 10 kilo ohm. So we will stop the circuit first. the power supply, and then go to R2, which is the feedback resistor, and replace it by 10 kilo ohm. Replace it by 10 kilo ohm. So here we have the this is 100. We need 10 kilo ohm. 10 kilo ohm. This is 10 kilo ohm. Okay, let us operate the circuit. Now we should make sure that the input is still 1 volt. The input is still 1 volt. Okay. Now we can see the output. How much? It's almost minus 10 volt. Minus 10 volt. Okay, as we can see. Okay. Now let us go to the third column in table 1. So the third column in table 1, R1 is 10 kilo ohm. Now we will replace R1 with 10 kilo ohm. It's 10 kilo ohm. This is R1 replaced by 10 kilo ohm resistor. Okay. So now let's operate the circuit and make sure that the input is 1 volt. So we will adjust it again from here. Yeah, we'll adjust it again from here to make it 1 volt. We'll go back clockwise until we get it 1 volt. Yeah, almost 1 volt. Okay, and then we can see the output 10 kilo ohm, 10 kilo ohm. It's almost minus 0.99 volt, which is almost minus 1 volt. Okay, then let us go to the fourth column, 10 kilo ohm R1 and 33 kilo ohm R2. So 33, we need to replace 33 kilo ohm for R2. This is the 33 kilo ohm. And then we need to operate the circuit and make sure that the input is still 1 volt. Okay. Input is still 1 volt. Let us adjust the input again. Exactly. Yeah. And then we have minus 3.33 volt in the output. Now let us go to the other column, which is 10 kilo ohm R1 and 100 kilo ohm R2. Now we need to replace the feedback resistor with 100 kilo ohm. Instead of 33 kilo ohm, we will replace it by 100 kilo ohm. Okay, and then adjust the input again. The input is still at 1 volt. Then taking the output reading, it is 10 minus 10 volt. Okay, minus 10 volt. Okay, now last column, we need R1 100 kilo ohm and R2 100 kilo ohm. Already R2 is 100 kilo ohm. Then we need to replace R1 by 100 kilo ohm. Okay, 100 kilo ohm R1. Okay, now we have replaced it. Okay, so R1 100 kilo ohm. Taking the input, we need to adjust it again to 1 volt. Okay, almost 1 volt. then the output is minus 0.99 volt, approximately minus 1 volt, okay? So the other thing that, according to these readings, the output voltage readings, then also we have to complete the ratio between R2 and R1, okay? And then divide the V out over V in. V in is always 1 volt. V out is the readings here. Then we will get the amplification, okay? The voltage gain. Then you have to find the formula, okay? You have to find the formula, okay? So next we will go for the second part, which is the non-inverting amplifier.